Revenge films.
My name is Jonathan. I live with my wife and my wife's son, whom I'm not biologically related to, and we're a family of 3. My wife, Karen, was a full-time housewife for many years, but once her son Kevin went to middle school, she started working part-time at the mall. Boy, I think we all know where this is going, with a name like Karen. Anyway, where was I? My wife was always a bit of a free spirit, and she would make decisions on her own without talking to me first. I was often swung around by that personality of hers, but I liked that she was always bright and positive, and that's why I married her. When we got married, her son was still 5 years old, but my wife had never been married before and was a single mother. Ever since he was little, my stepson and I got along well, and before I knew it, he was already in the 8th grade. Unlike my free-spirited wife, I really gave my all to raising my stepson, and because of that, even though we weren't related biologically, I thought of my stepson as my very own son. However, as he entered puberty, we had less opportunities to talk than before, and I felt like a distance was starting to grow between my son and I. "You're getting home pretty late. Were you hanging out with your friends?" "Yeah, well, where's Mom?" "She just messaged me that she's going to be home late tonight." "Interesting. Hey." What's the matter?" "Actually, nothing." After saying that, my son turned around and quickly disappeared into his room. Of course, I wanted to know what he was trying to say, but I decided not to push. He was at a difficult age, so I decided to wait until he wanted to tell me. As we were approaching my son's middle school graduation day, my wife started not coming home at night from time to time, and I started to get worried. She would message me on her way home from her part-time job and say that she would be sleeping over at her colleague's house for the night, and she didn't come home for days. In the past, anytime my wife would find something new and interesting, she would dive headfirst into it and often stay overnight, so I figured she must have found another new hobby or something like that. However, one incident led me to realizing that this time, things were different. One day, when I came home from work, my wife and my son were in a huge fight and raising their voices. It was really rare for them to yell at each other like this, so I ran in and tried to stop them. "What's going on? Raising your voices like that? Both of you, calm down!"
Honey,
"What on earth happened?"
it's nothing. I'm gonna go take a bath.
"Kevin, why are you so angry right now?" "Nothing." "It's obviously not nothing. Something must have happened for you guys to fight, right?" "Shut up! Just leave me alone! You don't even know anything!" After that, my son stopped talking to me entirely. While I was troubled by this, another incident occurred that would hit me with another blow. My wife started saying that she wouldn't attend our son's graduation. I assumed that they were dragging that fight on, so I decided to try convincing my wife otherwise. I figured we should speak without my son there, so I hurried to finish up my work one day, and I went to her part-time job. While I was waiting around for her, my wife appeared in thick makeup and dressed very young. My wife was so focused on her cell phone screen that she didn't notice my presence. I thought it was suspicious, and I followed her, and we arrived in the hotel district. Then, my wife found a young man whom she waved to and ran over to. The two of them tried to disappear right into the hotel, so I grabbed my phone and took a photo for evidence. I was so shocked by my wife's betrayal that I was at a complete loss. The next day, my wife came back home as though nothing had happened and was making dinner, but I had no desire to eat that. Even though she was fooling me, I didn't feel an ounce of regret for my wife's attitude, and I could feel the anger boiling inside of me. I wanted to show her the evidence of the photo right then and there, but I definitely wanted to attend my son's graduation. For that reason, I decided to wait after his graduation to divorce her, and decided to let my wife keep swimming. After that, I was organizing our room to prepare for the divorce, when I found something that caught my eye in the drawer. What's this? This is a ticket for the express train. The date on the ticket was the date of my son's graduation. The destination was the nearest station to the hot springs town that my wife had been wanting to go to. At that moment, I learned that my wife was planning on going on a vacation with her boyfriend instead of attending her son's graduation. Any affection I had for my wife was completely gone, and I immediately started looking for a new place to live so that I could get out as soon as possible. However, the one thing that was stopping me was my stepson. To be completely honest with my feelings, I loved my son from the bottom of my heart, and I wanted to have full custody as his legal guardian. However, I wasn't confident that my son would choose me without a biological connection, so I mentally prepared myself to start living alone. And I decided to make the most of my limited time left with my son. Kevin, do you have plans today? Not really. I see. Well then, will you come fishing with me? It's been a while. Fishing? It's cold out. I don't want to. If you layer up, you'll be fine. Alright, get ready! On the weekend, I invited my son to go fishing, and we went to a nearby fishing port and laid out a line side by side. I'm getting hungry. You want some cup noodles? Yeah. This is nostalgic. Back in the day, we used to go fishing and eat cup noodles like this. Yeah, we did. To tell you the truth, I was always more excited about the cup noodles than the fishing. I had a feeling that was the case. That day, for the first time in a very long time, we were able to talk to each other like we used to. Since the conversation was going well, I told my son that his mom wouldn't be attending his graduation, but his reaction was thin. His only reply was, "As long as you're there, Dad, then it's fine." And for some reason, that felt sad. And so, the day of the graduation, when I woke up in the morning, my wife was already gone. At the graduation, when I watched my son walk on that stage, I was so touched by how big he had gotten that I couldn't stop crying. The feeling that I didn't want to let go of my son was only getting stronger, but I kept reminding myself that that wasn't my decision. Once the graduation was over and we got home, my son was staring at his graduation diploma, looking really sad. I was planning on telling my son everything before my wife got back, but I was having trouble finding the words when my son got up and spoke to me first. "Hey Dad, what is it? Even though we're not related, we're family, right?" Of course we are! What are you saying all of a sudden?" "I was really glad that you came to my graduation alone today. Thank you." When I heard those words, I knew that I had to tell him, so I decided to tell my son everything. "Kevin, to tell you the truth, I'm thinking about getting a divorce." "Yeah, I think that's best." "What?" "This whole time, I didn't know whether to tell you or not, but I guess you knew about it. Mom's affair." "You knew about it?" "I just happened to see it one day. I couldn't hide my disappointment from my son's reaction. It turns out that my son had realized his mom was having an affair, and that's why they got into the huge fight that day. It's completely your choice who you decide to go with." "What? But of course I'm going to go with you, Dad." "Are you sure you're okay with that? There's no way I could live with that mother who would betray you like that. Kevin." As soon as it was decided that I would be taking in my son, we quickly gathered our belongings and got ready to move out. We were somehow able to complete the move before my wife came back, and we carried all of our belongings into the new house. When my wife got home without knowing anything, she realized that everything was gone from inside of the house, and then found the divorce papers on the dining room table, and she panicked and called me.
I'm sorry I couldn't go to the graduation. Are you mad? You didn't have to leave the house because of that. Where are you?
I can't live with a wife who's going to miss her son's graduation to go on a vacation and cheat on me anymore. We're getting a divorce.
What are you saying? This must be some kind of misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Well then, what's this? When I sent her the photos that I took, my wife was stunned and fell silent. Once you sign the divorce papers, go submit them.
What about Kevin? Is he with you right now?
I will be taking care of Kevin.
Why? But Kevin is my child.
Because that's why Kevin decided himself. Hey, Dad, I want to talk to Mom a little bit. Can you pass me the phone? Sure. Hello, Mom.
Kevin, he's lying that you're going to go with him over there, right? You know you're not even related to that man. I am your one and only real parent.
You've got some nerve saying that after leaving everything to Dad to raise me.
That's not true. I did my best in my own way to raise you, the best way I could.
In what way? You betrayed Dad and were just messing around with some other guy. You're not my mother. You're not my parent. My only parent is Dad.
How can you say that? Please don't leave me by myself.
Why don't you go be with that guy you were cheating on us with? Goodbye!
Kevin? Kevin!
Thanks to my son's strong wishes, I was able to get full custody of Kevin, and my wife was left all alone. When I sued her for a settlement fee, she came crying to me multiple times and apologizing over the phone. Of course, I wasn't able to forgive her, so I collected a settlement fee from both her and her cheating partner. Her cheating partner then dumped her, and perhaps my wife got lonely, because then she started saying that she wanted to see her son. However, my son also wasn't able to forgive his mom, so he declined meeting her. After that, my wife wasn't able to support herself with just her part-time job, so she had to move into a cheap, run-down apartment. She used up all of her assets with the settlement fee and the move, and she was left with no choice but to live a very poor life. Although she was stuck living a dark, lonely life, on the complete opposite side, my son and I are having a great time, and on the weekends, we go fishing or camping or trekking together.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.